What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm actually gonna be breaking down the Eddy, the edible ink printer. I wanted to make sure to make this video here for you guys because when I was actually in the search for an Eddy myself, I actually scrolled through all of the videos on YouTube and I still had a lot of questions. So I wanna make sure that in this video, it's gonna be a semi-tutorial, right? I'm gonna kind of show you how to print a cookie. I'm gonna show you how the printer itself works. And I'm also gonna show you how to use the software for the printer. I'm gonna give you a brief description of a little bit of everything from start to finish on how to print a cookie and kind of give you the pros and cons of what I think about the printer. And hopefully you can make a better decision because obviously an Eddy is an investment. So you just need to make sure that investment is right for you. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, first things first, before we even touch on the Eddy, I wanna make sure that I run through what we use here to print, right? I own a bakery in Needham, Massachusetts. I own a Cookies by Design, and we work with a lot of logos, right? So we use royal icing for our cookies, but that's not obviously the only thing you can print on the Eddy. You can print on a lot of different things. Obviously, if you're doing your research, you're gonna know what things it prints on, but we specifically work with sugar cookies. Now, obviously, I get a lot of questions as far as how long do you leave the cookies drying? Do you print on the same day? So I want to make sure I answer those because those are some questions that I had as well, right? So the way I do it and what I found was easiest for me was flooding them all one day, letting the cookies dry enough, and by enough I mean overnight. I usually don't take a rushed order, and if I do, I make sure I let the customer know that normally it's like a 3-day process, right? Because I want to bake, I want to flood. We use royal icing to flood. We let them dry overnight, and then the next day I will print on the cookies, right? That gives it enough time for the cookie to dry. There's not a lot of moisture in the cookies. But when you print on the cookies, it's not going to spread. The ink won't spread because if the cookie's still wet and it's more of a rushed order, then the ink itself might spread a little bit. Doesn't happen a lot, but there is a chance, especially when you wrap the cookie. But yeah, one of the questions I get a lot on my Instagram is, how long the process is of me letting it dry. And if you're actually not following me on Instagram, make sure to go do that right now. It's just The Bakery Biz on Instagram. I give a lot of tips there as well, and just some fun content. But anyways, yeah, that's just a question I get a lot on my Instagram. I just wanted to make sure I clarify that. That was also a question that I had when I was buying an Eddy, so I made sure to answer that first right off the bat, and then I'll show you what I do with the cookie before I wrap it. So stick around for that. All right, now I'm gonna be breaking down a little bit of the actual machine. So this is a carousel that comes with the printer itself, right? So in the beginning, I actually didn't even use this for a long time, and I was printing cookies, and I'll show you how I was printing them before because I didn't have these, which are called the sassy trays, right? I didn't have these yet, so printing on them was a little bit difficult because I have to be very precise when printing on the cookies. I'm not just doing a full pattern or anything like that. I'm printing the cookies on a specific part of the cookie, so I was having trouble kind of doing that before. I will show you how I was doing that. I really just made something up here, which worked really well for me in the beginning. But once I did purchase these sassy trays, which are a third party, it's not part of the printer and it does not come with the printer. These are separate, but definitely a worthwhile investment. If you're gonna go for an Eddy, having this is perfect because yes, it's speaking to me. We're buddies now. Me and Eddy are buddies. But yeah, so having these are a must if you're gonna have the printer. I mean, not necessarily a must, but an awesome add-on because this exact image, and they give you a template to put on the Bartender, which you can kind of align your cookies exactly where they're gonna go. So you're gonna put your image exactly where they're gonna go on the cookie, and you're gonna match this to what you're seeing on your Bartender, which I will show you in a little bit. But yeah, definitely a worthwhile product to have. I will have them linked below. I'm not sponsored by them at all. This is literally just, I really enjoy this. So if you're gonna buy an Eddy, I would definitely recommend having this as well. But I'm gonna show you both ways, how I use this, which is what I use now, and what I used to do before to get a exact print on my logos. Okay, so let me show you how I use this first, and then I'll show you the old school way a little bit later. All right, guys, and I'm also not gonna show you how to set up the actual Eddy itself, but I will have a video that I actually use to set up the Eddy, which is very, very simple. The setup of the machine is very simple. So this is a carousel. This is the actual carousel that goes plugged into that gets just plugged into the back. Very easy to set up. So you just plug this in, you just kind of connect that down here. So you see those little two straps. I need to clean my Eddie. Don't mind the mess. I've had this for over a year, and I'm telling you guys, it's the best investment I've ever had, because I do a lot of logo cookies. So if you work with a lot of logo cookies, it's definitely going to be a time saver. But yeah, excuse my mess. I should have maybe cleaned this up a little bit here for you guys before, but and I will show you what this rubber band is here as well. But the setup, again, the setup is very easy. I will have a video linked below for setup. Just literally follow step by step. Won't go into details on that because that video is boring and I'm not here to bore you. So carousel here, right? And then you just want to put your sassy trays. Actually, before I even do my sassy trays, I want to show you what it actually comes with. So it actually comes with these little triangular hooks, right? And then all of them have that. But because the sassy tray is going to be too big for that, you need to take these hooks out to fit the sassy trays in. Okay. But if you don't have these sassy trays yet, you can use this. And then when you get a cookie, you put your cookie right in there, and then the tongue comes in and grabs the cookie from the bottom. But because we have the sassy trays, we're not gonna use these, okay? We're just gonna go ahead and put the sassy trays right in there. This is made for this machine, so it fits in here perfectly. And then you're just gonna put your cookie right on top, and I will show you exactly how to do that. The carousel will come with 12, obviously, hooks. You can put 12 cookies on at once if you don't have the sassy trays. If you do have the sassy trays, it's only 6 cookies at once, but the machine only prints 1 cookie at once. So it's not like, I mean, you can set it up for if you have, like, let's say 200 cookies like I have today, you want to print all of them are the same logo. You just print 200 and it'll start printing them. And then you can come in here and pause it if you need to pause it. But it'll just keep printing until your quantity is done, which is awesome. It saves so much time. But let me show you how this works on Bartender. All right, guys, I'm going to show you a brief description here on how Bartender works. I will have a link to the actual video of how the full Bartender program works, but this is just something you get off Primera. You go on their website, you download this software. Once you have it downloaded, it's very easy. You'll have all the instructions there as well, okay? But I'm just going to briefly show you how this works because it is very simple, guys. So I already have, again, the template, the sassy tray template. If not, you'd be starting a new Bartender document, okay? And it's literally just step by step by step by step. You want to do the size of the cookie. Again, you can see that all in the video. This isn't going to be a boring video. This is going to be a quick informational video here as far as how to use this, right? So I already have the template because Sassy Tray gives you that template. Let me turn my computer a little bit more towards you guys. I can barely see. Okay, you just click on that, using it. So see, remember how this actual image was on this, and this is just ink. Okay, guys, from other you can see some of the logos on here. It's just ink. If you throw this in hot water, it literally comes right off. Barely have to touch it. I mean, we scrub it down, but you barely have to touch this. The ink comes right off. Obviously, it's edible ink, so it's gonna come off pretty easy. But yeah, this is what you see on that. Obviously, this is gonna be a little trial and error as well because these cookies are a little bit differently shaped because obviously when you bake cookies, they're not gonna be, at least my cookies, I guess everyone's recipe is different. My recipes do spread a little bit. So what I have to do is I'll usually try to stay within the barrier. I won't try to bring the cookie all the way up to the outside unless it's a full pattern, which I can just print larger than the actual cookie, and it'll just spray over the whole cookie. Since the logo that I'm gonna be using is gonna be a circle logo, which I'll show you right now. And you actually have to hold it until you go right on top there, boom. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to measure. Obviously you're going to measure from, not in this position, but you're going to measure based on where your cookie goes, right? So you see these lines here are going to dictate, obviously this is the circle that I'm going to be focusing on. It covers the whole circle for the most part, so I definitely want to stay within the circle because you can see I can see the line, the outline of that circle, so it's pretty much, the cookie's pretty much in that circle exactly, but the icing is going to be a little bit inward, so the image is going to be even a little bit more inward, right? So and again, this is going to be trial and error for you guys. I would definitely recommend baking a couple extra cookies so you can get the template down perfectly if you need every single cookie perfect. But I normally do print extra cookies, like I do have extra cookies here, but if you forget to print the extra cookies, it is what it is. You just have to kind of do your best, right? So this, I know that even if it's a little bit off, it's just going to be the red part of the Red Sox logo and not the actual important part of the cookie, which is going to be the Boston Red Sox. I know that if it's going to be a little bit off, it's only going to be a little bit off from the red part. So I'll do a test print now and I'll show you guys what that looks like. Put my cookies here. Again, you want to make sure it's nice and centered, and you want to make sure your tray is all the way pushed back as well. So obviously in the beginning, you want to make sure you are printing just one. So you want to come in here, print. Here is going to give you the options to how many copies you want. If I was doing all of them, I would hit 200, hit enter, and it would literally start printing all of the cookies until the 200 are done, which is awesome because you don't have to keep count either. If you have 50 of these logos, you just want to make sure that you know, you hit 50 and you got all the 50, so you don't even have to keep count. But because we are going to be doing just one and we're going to be testing it, so we're just going to hit print. The machine is gonna do its thing and I will show you what that looks like. So you just boom, and it only does that in the beginning just to kind of get everything going. All right, how cool is that, huh? And the cookie is pretty much exactly where I need it to be. You can see on the right side there is a little lump there, but that's just my cookie itself. It's not anything that the logo did. This is pretty much perfectly centered, so we're not even going to touch that on the computer. I'm pretty much good to go. I will show you what printing a bunch of them looks like. Let's go. So I have all 6 trays loaded. So we're going to print 6. It's going to obviously, you just want to make sure through every one they're nice and safe. Okay, it's going to just turn it around. It's going to grab it. It's going to print it. Right, I like to come in here and just make sure my trays are lined up properly, so the next time it takes it, it's not unaligned, because it will fall over. So boom, and there we go. So it's just gonna keep doing that until all of these are done. Normally what I would do, let's see if I can do that. I'm just gonna make sure this is safe for the next time it goes take that. I'm gonna take this one, I'm gonna put it here. All right. Normally you would just go filling these in as that's printing. Make sure this is safe. All right. And then we can come here, take it, come here, and then replace. Okay. And this is really hard to do while filming. I don't even know if that's filming properly, but that's what that looks like when it's printing. And then obviously the ink, this carries the ink. I have a few extra ink cartridges, right? I love this machine, I really do. Anyways, I have a few extra ink cartridges that come directly from Primera. I think it's about like $130 each cartridge, and each cartridge will print, I want to say maybe like about 1,000 cookies or so, depending on, you know, what colors you're using. If it's full, if it's a full print, right, that's gonna obviously take up a lot more ink. These take up a little bit less ink, and you can change on the system how dark you want the prints to be. This is literally what it comes with. I never changed what it came with. I figured company probably knows what to use better than I do, so I'm not gonna start messing with things I really don't have to. I really didn't change much, guys. The way the company gave me everything is the way I pretty much use it. Besides the sassy trays is really the only thing I did differently than what the company you know, kind of shows you how to do. I've actually never used just the tray without the sassy trays. I've only used this carousel with the sassy trays, but I will show you how I used to do my cookies before I got the sassy trays without the carousel. I will show you how to do that. So let's get into that. All right, guys, and now I will show you the getaway to do this. Is basically I grab some tape, okay, because what you're gonna do is you want to make sure the tape is double-sided. Doesn't have to be tape. You can use pretty much whatever you want. I use tape and I use cardboard, right? So this is essentially going to be kind of what you're doing here, okay? But instead of lining up with the dots, what I would do is really just print a logo on there, right? So I'm going to tape this to the actual little tongue that comes out and grabs the cookie. I'm gonna tape this to the tongue, And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit print, and then it's gonna print the logo right on there. And that gives me a base of where every cookie should be placed, right? So if I print it, the logo is actually gonna be on here exactly how it looks like. And then you just put the cookie right on top of that. So you center it with what the logo actually looks like on that. So that's one way to kind of do it. Do I wanna show you that? Do you guys wanna see that? Whatever, I might as well, right? All right, guys, so I actually unplugged the carousel, right? Because the carousel, if you unplug it, obviously this won't turn. I didn't unhook it because obviously I'm gonna use it again. I just wanna show you how that looks like. I just went ahead and I taped it to that little tongue that was down here. And let me show you actually while I have this. So this tongue is what obviously comes out, grabs the cookie. This I put is just a rubber band. Let's put 2 rubber bands, one on top, one on the bottom, for grip. There's really no grip on the actual tongue itself. So when grabbing the sassy trays, because the sassy trays are also plastic on plastic, as you can see, is not gonna, really hold well. It's gonna tilt, it's gonna fall over. So this gives it a little bit more traction, so it doesn't tip over. So when putting the sassy trays on there, it doesn't slide off that easily, versus if it was just on here, it slide. Even though it comes with these little grips on the side, not enough. So definitely rubber band, and then I use that. But for now, let's go back to this. I'm sorry to be jumping around everywhere. There's just a lot of information I want to give you guys. So yeah, here you want to make sure this is centered. It covers the whole tongue, but you also want to make sure it fits in here, because there is a certain size limit to your cookies. I believe it's a little over 4.5 inches that you can fit in here, and then also this way. So 4.5 by 4.5 would be the range I would kind of give you for cookies. It is a little bit over. I think it's 4.75 each way, but just say 4.5 to play it safe. And then yeah, you want to make sure this cardboard fits inside, so when it grabs the cookie, it slides in. And then what we're gonna do, just go back on here, we're gonna print 1, and then that's gonna print right on the cardboard, sorry for my accent, cardboard 1, and then we're gonna hit print, and that's gonna take that back in there. And I might have done it a little bit too big on the side. So again, you want to make sure this kind of clipped on the side. You want to make sure that that's not there. I'm gonna try to cut that off and make sure it's not. But yeah, you can see what I was talking about. Let me cut this off. Okay. Hopefully that didn't move. But essentially, you guys are gonna get the idea here. I do have a few extra cookies here. You just want to go ahead and cover that logo. Make sure that everything that's going to be printed is going to be printed on the logo. I'd usually kind of pull it off to the side, make sure this is right in the middle, and then come down right to where it's supposed to be. And then you can see on this side, it's a little bit more, so that means it's going to print there. So I'm just going to bring that back here, and then you don't see anything here. So it does take a while, guys. This way does take a while, because obviously you have to make sure you have to align everything properly. But then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna print 1 more here, and then we're gonna see how that looks like. All right, so it's gonna, same thing, it's gonna take that. Hopefully I cut enough on the sides where it doesn't grab it. Perfect. So yeah. And there you have it. So essentially, same thing as having a sassy trays, but this is kind of how I did it for almost like half a year before I even jumped on the sassy trays. I had actually purchased the sassy trays, and I know you guys are the same way. You guys probably have this machine and probably never even unloaded it. I had the sassy trays for over a few months and never really used it. I had the carousel, never used it. I just found this way that worked and rolled with it. So yeah, guys, there you have it. That is kind of my tips for the Eddy. I don't know if I had anything else for you. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna film kind of me printing all of these cookies in hyperlapse, so you can kind of see the process of how it is to print a lot of cookies. I'm gonna throw some gloves on because these cookies are actually for a customer. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys got a lot of tips. I hope, seeing the cookies being printed kind of helped you decide either way if you're gonna, go ahead and grab an Eddy. I will have the company linked below, so you can go right on there and look at, you know, the machine, the prices, see if it's something that you want to do, see if it's something that you want to invest in. This machine has been something that's been so helpful for me, that I really wanted to reach out to them, because I had so many people reaching out to me asking what machine I was using, So I wanted to make sure me and Primera were on the same page. You know, they wanted to work with me, so finally I was able to make this video here for you guys. I'm so excited to bring it for you. But yeah, I reached out to them because I really love the company. You know, they didn't send me anything for free. I purchased this myself. I purchased all of my ink. I purchased everything. I use this company. I just wanted to make this video for my followers on Instagram and for my followers here on YouTube now. If you guys aren't subscribed to my YouTube, please do so. I am new here, so you know, I can make more content like this, but I really need you guys to support it. So when I do make content like this, it gets pushed. YouTube pushes, you know, the algorithm picks it up and pushes it. So I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel. And if you like this video, if you thought it was helpful, if you watched it till now, definitely drop a like for me. That really helps out as well. And I will see you on the next video. Peace. All right, guys, I'm back. Just one more quick tip here. What I do, I just wanted to let you guys know that before I bag these, I throw a little cornstarch on top of each printed image, and that helps the actual cookie from spreading, or the ink from spreading. So there's a last tip here for you guys. If you guys watch this till the end, only you get it, and I really appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.